Yo, top Billin to ya. All right, y'all. By popular demand, special request, whatever you want to call it. People were asking me about this maybe 2 or 3 months ago doing the wide receiver cornerback breakdown series that I've been doing in the NFL and in college as well. So make sure you check out all of those on the backlog there. But people are like, man, you got to do the great Stephon Gilmore versus that freak Deandre Hopkins. You're talking about two of the most technical players in the NFL. You could arguably say it's the best matchup, bar none, that you can get in the NFL if you're talking about a wide receiver cornerback matchup, being as though just technically, right? I know it's arguable. You're going to say, oh, Julio Jones is the best or Michael Thomas is the best, but DeAndre Hopkins is arguably the very best wide receiver in the NFL, and Stephon Gilmore is arguably the best cornerback in the NFL as well. So there's some other guys you may mention, but I think that Gilmore may be a consensus. However, if you're thinking about this right here, both of these guys were first-team All-Pro. And outside of Marcus Peters, there wasn't another cornerback with as much accolades or as many accolades as Stephon Gilmore and DeAndre Hopkins. The only other wide receiver on the first team was Michael Thomas. He hadn't been in the league enough, even though his accolades are off the chain as well. So that's the top two cats in the game. They match up very well with each other. Both of the cats are from South Carolina. One from South Carolina, and one went to Clemson University. So these guys have been going at it for a minute. I feel like they don't like each other if you see some of the shit that they do on the field too, but it's just a great technical matchup. And I want to get down and break down the technicality of this matchup. But I also want to do something right here which makes this matchup special. A lot of times I do these. That's like the one that we did. I did with Jamar Chase and the cornerback from Mississippi State, where he was playing a ton of zone. He wasn't shadowing him. He stayed on one side of the field, played a ton of zone, and he had help over the top, which, you know what I mean, it's football. Nobody's going to be doing the video game shit all the time and making it look like that if they don't have to. So, but this one right here, you would see a lot of this. Let's check this out right here. You know what this is called? Look at this. This is the most difficult one-on-one task in the game here. You're talking about no help over the top. This, my friends, is called zero coverage. This is zero coverage here. This man, you see Deron Harmon here walked up. He's not going to be a factor in this. If DeAndre Hopkins were to take this vertically, Stephon Gilmore has no help over the top. You see McCourty here, also the same thing. This is a fabricated blitz pressure scheme, and he has no help over the top. So that's that grown man shit. Not to mention he followed him around no matter where he went. A lot of these guys may switch sides a little bit, but then they won't go into the slot. He went into the slot. So this is man-to-man, hand-to-hand combat, anything you can think of right here. This is a great matchup. So with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into it.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. All right. Real quick, just for my college football audience who may not be familiar with these two guys and decide to look at this, Stephon Gilmore, obviously out of the University of South Carolina. I thought he's one of the most underrated players to ever come through the SEC. All he did was ball out in South Carolina and straight kill it. A prototypical man-to-man cornerback, 6'1", over 200 pounds. He'll be 30 this season. He's had such a great career, man, and it's really come to the forefront the more publicity he's gotten playing for the New England Patriots, opposed to when he was a Buffalo Bill earlier in his career. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He was this past season's Defensive Player of the Year. Stephon Gilmore is as good as he gets. He's in his prime right now. Maybe got a few more years left of his prime before he gets out of that, but he's so technically sound that I think he'll be good even after that here. See, last year, 6 interceptions, 126 yards off those, a couple of touchdowns, 20 passes defense the past 2 seasons. Come on, man. This dude is the absolute truth. Switching that over to my man DeAndre Hopkins, going out of Clemson, very storied career at Clemson. 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 6'1", 212 pounds. These guys are roughly the same exact size. They're the same height. We see here this man has nothing but 1,000-yard seasons on to his credit, and that's with having various quarterbacks of varying degree of goodness or greatness to their game or whatever. Like they played with some so-so quarterbacks, and he was still able to produce. This guy's the absolute truth, man. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, y'all. top of the screen here, what you're going to see is a rotation right here. Middle field closed. This is going to be man-free. So Deron Harmon's going to rotate middle field closed, and then you're going to have a slant by Deandre Hopkins. I want to say that he had 5 catches for 64 yards, and I want to say every single one of them may have been off of a slant. So this is something Stefan Gilmore is going to have to work with. But Deandre Hopkins is just one of the best running that particular route. It's a tougher route to defend, but Stefan Gilmore is the goods. Let's go full speed right quick. So he really bit on the outside portion of this. One more time, full speed. I want you to watch the feet. Look at the tone of his feet. Very quiet right there. Actually, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this. You kids want to know who to look at, right? Looking at some of these college players is cool or whatever like that. You want to go to the highest level possible. Stefan Gilmore probably forgot more about cornerback play than you see with some of these college kids and the stuff that they do. But even with that being said, you're going against a freak like Deandre Hopkins, man. Check this out. So obviously you'll see him come to balance right here. When he comes to balance, Stefan Gilmore, very quiet with the tone of his feet, right? You can see it right there. Not much wasted motion or any extra additives to it. But what he does, though, is he allows Deandre Hopkins to really get up on him, right? He's trying to force him to the sideline when in actuality with this, he could have just kind of stayed neutral in his pedal. As you see right here, he turns with inside leverage, but then really bites to the outside with it. Right, bites to the outside with it, and Hopkins does a great job of using that left hand, almost like a press technique from the wide receiver side. You see it right there with the left hand, shoved him out the way, very casually like that, and then Stefan Gilmore stops his feet and tries to combat that. Right, and all it takes right there is just a little bit of space on the slant route, and he's open. Tough route to defend. Stefan Gilmore could have done it a little bit better by being a little bit more patient, but even then, it's probably a tough route to defend, even with the patience or whatever like that. Then he looks like he gets trucked a little bit too. Come on, man. This is gangster. This is gangster. All right, check out the degree of difficulty on this one if you're a New England Patriot. I absolutely love the New England Patriots. I've always loved the Patriots. I love the Patriots' defensive scheme. Being a former defensive player, you would love to be in some shit like this because you do so many different things. You can see Gilmore here follow Hopkins into the slot. What you're going to have is essentially zero coverage, but you're going to have kind of a middle field fire zone with Jamie Collins peeling back. Check it out. Jamie Collins going to rush, peel back, try to rob the middle of the field. But you got an in-breaking route here from Deandre Hopkins. You can see it from this side right there. That's tough on Gilmore. Although he was man-to-man, you see here, he's playing with outside leverage, and he's playing vertically over the top, so they don't want to get beat deep. So his first order of business here, let's go back the original way. You can see it right here. His first order of business, since there's no help over the top, they don't want to get beat with a seam pass. So he's going to continually work vertically. And then you'll see here, simple kind of a bang 8 or something like that running from Hopkins there. But they wanted to kind of bait them to throw the ball in the middle of the field with this type of leverage. But Collins was just a little bit late getting there. Maybe he could have picked it off if he wouldn't have rushed, but it was a bait. They wanted to bait him to throw it in the middle of the field. That's exactly what he did. Collins didn't get there, but you can't really say that this was a one-on-one matchup per se. It's a one-on-one matchup in theory, but you can see he's clearly playing with outside leverage working vertically. So this may have been an option route by Hopkins as well. They voided that. So there's a lot of shit you got to work with in the NFL. That's why I love NFL football, man. It's just much more complex than the shit that you see in college. All right, this time, manned up in the slot again with another in-breaking route, another slant route. I told you this was the MO of them this entire game with Deandre Hopkins, at least. Check it out. Got him good. Kind of a little rub action right there, too, if you're Stefan Gilmore. You see somebody kind of coming in your peripheral vision there. Look, take this. Look at it. You see him work the rhythm step there, Hopkins. And then he does the same thing with his left arm, right, with the push off there. and get Stefan Gilmore to work outside here. Then you get a little bit of a delay action going on from the receiver. So Stefan Gilmore has a lot in his sight right there. So that's high-level offensive wizardry there by the offensive coordinator. But he's open in the middle of the field once again. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this one. All right, so if you see this one right here, I always tell people this, and people talking about slot receivers, they be like, oh, put the big stiff dude in the slot and let the real agile guy play on the outside. Like, that shit don't make any sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. You want to have your guy who's extremely agile work with in the slot because they have a two-way go. The whole field, the whole entire field is their oyster from the slot. And especially if you see guys before, they wouldn't put guys like Deandre Hopkins in the slot because they would want them to work outside, because if you beat someone on the outside, it's a touchdown. You beat someone on the inside, more than likely it's just a first down. It's just a different way of operating. So him working against Deandre Hopkins with a two-way go here, as you see right here, is scary in itself, but it's especially scary when he's able to run routes like this. Look at that. Hit him with the jazz up right there. Boom, banged him with the Allen Iverson crossover, and then use the inside hand. And look at that. My man's grasping that straw. Look at Stefan Gilmore, don't know what's going on. Look at that. He's like, damn, what the hell just happened? Look at that. Look at that. Got this man butt scooting and shit like that. Come on, that's hard as hell. I feel for a guy like Stefan Gilmore having to combat that in the middle of the field. This guy's just too crafty. He's just too damn good. You know he's going to catch virtually everything going his way, but Gilmore does a good job of running himself back into the play. And I think they had a little bit of a squabble after this play. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, at the end of this play, look at this. Why is Gilmore laying on this man like that, man? He laying on Hopkins and shit like I lay on my wife. Come on. I can say like this, you ain't going to get over somebody in football. He knew what he was doing. Stefan Gilmore trying to be slick. Come on. Come on. Whoa. We're going to have to pause this one. Like, not pause, but pause. Like, come on, what's going on there? Hopkins pulls straight up. Look at that. That's that South Carolina right there. That's that rivalry to him right there, man. I hate the fact that DeAndre Hopkins was traded to the NFC, so you won't get to see this as much. However, I believe the Cardinals do play the New England Patriots this year, so we'll get to see it again, man. This is the matchup of matchups right there. All right, so he had 8 targets and 5 catches. A couple of those targets were in zone coverage, so I'm not going to show those. And then he had a catch that was a screen pass. So I just wanted to show the targeted reps that Stefan Gilmore was a part of in man coverage. And here's the best one from Gilmore here. You can see him try to work another in-breaking route here. Gilmore stays patient. He's right over this one, all over it. Damn near runs him to the concession stand. That was it. You can see it from this particular angle here. You see DeAndre as the base in his trips right. Tries to work the rhythm step there. Notice the tone of his feet. Notice the patience. Notice him looking at his chest. Not worried about anything dealing with the hips or anything like that. Works that rhythm step, jabs to the outside. Gilmore follows him perfectly. It's done. Not to mention you had Dante Hightower here. And who else? You had Dante Hightower. You got a fabricated pressure scheme going on here with a stunt. So Watson didn't have any time anyway. He has to end up just pretty much eating this, as you saw. So there you have it. Man, high-level matchups like this, you always have to give credit to a coaching staff that will allow their cornerback to travel and shadow a high-level receiver like this. And I think if you think about it, just drawing on playing experience and telling people what it's like playing from the left to the right side, no matter the position, because you're getting certain rhythms and certain formalities with your technique that calls for a certain foot to be here and there depending on the side that you're on. It's almost like going over to Europe or Germany or something like that and driving on the right side of the car, the steering wheel being on the right side of the car. It's difficult. So it just goes to show you how great Stefan Gilmore is and how great Hopkins is. But this was not that eventful, nothing going downfield, just in breaking routes and really solid defensive play as far as trying to trick Watson and them. So I believe Houston won this game, though. I forget, but it was a good matchup, man. But let me know if you guys want to see any other matchups out there. I'm down to do them here. Stuff, I don't know what's going on with college football here. It's not looking that good, so I might be doing a much more NFL stuff moving forward here. But the Patriots is definitely a team I've always wanted to do. So I wanted to start my career off doing the Patriots, but it didn't work out that way. But it is what it is, man. It's your boy Murph, the Underground King. I appreciate you guys watching here. Salute to y'all. And, of course, I am out. Peace. Make sure you tell a friend that this is the best place where it's at. Now, really, peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.